Over the years, our top-of-line sewing machines keep getting additions added to them, like from our embroidery software levels. So every so often we get more and more things that we can do right here on the screen. So right now we're going to talk about the design applique shapes that are built into this machine. So right down here where there's a picture of a flower and a pair of scissors takes us into just that, design applique. And here are our shapes menu. So if we touch it, we can see this a little bit more opened up. So when we talk applique, we're talking about where there's going to be a placement line, fabric's going to be placed over that line, there'll be some stitching down of an outline, and then you're going to trim that fabric to that shape, and then it's going to finish with a decorative stitch. And I'm going to show you your options for decorative stitches. But the nice thing about this that I can't express highly enough is that these can be any size you want them to be. So if you have your largest hoop on, you can get a circle that is of that larger hoop size. If you just need a normal circle or a heart or whatever, you can change. These don't have size limitations like we've talked about, where you can only go 20% bigger or 20% smaller. This, anything goes. Okay, so let's just start with a circle just to get us an idea. So as we pick a shape, you will notice a shape will appear on our screen. So it really doesn't matter where it is right now. We'll move it later. But after you pick your shape, then we get to come down to these 3 different styles of outlines. The top 3 are a little bit narrower, and the lower 3 are a little bit thicker or bolder. What are we talking about? And I'm going to pick the bolder ones just so you can see it a little easier. So this first one would be what you would think of like a normal satin stitch. But it doesn't matter how big this is. It can be enlarged or, well, obviously you can't go beyond your hoop size, but that shows immediately before you get too carried away. That is just that nice normal satin stitch you see over an applique. The next one, it kind of has a zigzaggy look to it. It actually has a I love this style of stitch. I recommend that you stitch these out on your own and test each of the different thicknesses and styles. All right, now the last one. This one almost looks like French knots, and so it stitches that little kind of star, and it really gives a nice, it's actually textured, so when you touch it, it actually feels almost like braille. The smaller one would of course be smaller ones, but the thing is that this little area is able to handle whatever size it is. So did you notice there's more dots? Here, I'll do it with a little larger. There's more dots if it's a bigger circle, but there's less of those dots when you go around a smaller circle. So it's like proportioning the amount of stitches that you would need for any of that. So once you have an idea how big you want it, there is the size right up at the top just to give you a visual of how big you have changed it. You can even touch and hold any of these numbers, so you can come in and even put it into the exact, say, 200 size, 200 top and 200. There we go, and then we can even move it to be to where we want it. So just to give you some ideas of what you're capable of doing. Once you touch OK, everything locks together. That is your shape. That is your decorative stitch around it. But let's go back in. Did you notice there's not only shapes, but there are also letters? So here we go. We'll slide up a little bit. You've got all your letters and numbers and a few symbols to go along with that. So if you're looking to find a way to do some really big monograms, don't forget about the design applique feature built into this machine.